Good Saturday morning, everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records here in Midland. I hope your weekend is off to a great start. It is here because, I'm at a record store, so that's always a good way to go. Otherwise, though, outside, it's Michigan, it's January. What more do you want? Snow on the ground, blowing around, cloudy skies, a little gray. We had some sunshine, I think, for a little bit, but then it started snowing again the other day. But that's how it goes, right? We're used to it. So the parking lot, by the way, I've got a few spaces cleared out. It wasn't that much snow, but I did get some stuff cleared out here. So we should be good to go for the day. But I hope wherever you are, your day is off to a fantastic start, snow or otherwise. Here in Michigan, we got it. Yes, that is exactly how it goes. Few things to talk about today as we go through our live update. I got a few new releases to show off. But before we get to those and before we say hello, I just need to, before people start dropping off, because, man, this guy's boring. I don't want to listen to him. Need to let you guys know that Radio Wasteland will be closed tomorrow, Sunday, the 18th. We're open today, Saturday, normal hours, but I need a day off tomorrow. So we'll be closing on Sunday, tomorrow, the 18th. I'll put it up all over our socials. It's on the Google Hours change. I'll put a sign up and everything today. So if you need to stop by for something and you were planning to do it, I'll get to it sometime this weekend. Needs to be today, because otherwise you're going to show up tomorrow and scratch your head and say, damn it, Jim, where are you? So yeah, we're going to be closed tomorrow, Sunday. Just need a day off, but we'll be back to normal come Wednesday. What that means also for those of you ordering new stuff, I think there's a Megadeth. I almost said Metallica. Megadeth coming out next week. It'll show up a week later because in addition to all of that, there's a shipping delay next week because of the Martin Luther King Day holiday. I know it's a federal holiday, but UPS is taking the day off too, so that really affects our shipping. So we won't get anything. I'm just going to hold off until the week after, but everything should be back to normal again. But just a quick reminder before you tune out, Radio Wasteland will be closed tomorrow, Sunday the 18th. Okay, now that being said, let's go ahead and say some hellos to those of you who are stacked up and waiting out there. As always, much appreciated you guys stopping by on a Saturday morning. Hey, you got nothing better to do. Let's watch Jim yak for a few minutes. Jennifer, good morning to you, as well as TC out at TKR Video Central on the East Coast. Happy Saturday to you. I did get your message, sir, and I've got some stuff pulled around for you. We'll talk later on. Paul, good morning. 61 days till spring. You're counting down already. That's all right. And good morning from the Great White North. Margie Mother saying hello there. And Dan Corbett, good morning. Got snow indeed. Not much. Again, it wasn't too bad. Not too bad yesterday and today. The roads, however, would beg otherwise last night. Let's see. Fred from snowy Grand Rapids checking in. Good morning, sir. Betty in Toledo. It is always good to hear from you there. Moon Invader from Maine, out on the East Coast. You guys understand. And good morning to you as well. Mike, good morning, as well as Chuck kicking in. Cool. Stopping by for a visit today. Chuck, hope you're up and around and doing better, feeling better. Rocky, good morning, sir. Always good to hear from you, and glad you're checking in. And Sean, asking for summer. Good morning. Let's get to spring first. We have to get through February before either of any and all of those. Come on, guys. February is now, if you're familiar in Michigan, January and February are the longest months of the year. Doesn't matter how January's got that 31, but February, even in leap years, it feels like it's extended. Okay, so let's get into a few new releases. I don't have much in the way of other announcements and stuff to go. I think we did talk before about the Record Store Day announcing, I believe we did. It announced it's the date of Saturday, April 18th. No, I don't know what's on the list. And the list we should have by mid to after mid-February, sometime in there. So a little more than a month or so, we should see the list for April. I know it seems too soon, too quick, but ever forward, right? On to the new releases, and had a good shipment come in. And we had some of the Rush stuff finally show up. We'll get to that in a second. First up, though, here is a band out of Ann Arbor, and I believe it's Ann Arbor, I'm pretty sure. They're called Racing Mount Pleasant, and this is the album Grip Your Fist, I'm Heaven Bound. Now, I've not heard of these guys before, being Michigan band. I got to look them up. I've not opened a copy of this yet, but listened online. I've got a couple copies of the indie exclusive. One of them may find their way open a little bit later today. We'll see what happens on that if they need to go. But these guys are an interesting group. Again, I've not heard from them. This was their first album It was released in 2022, but the vinyl version was just released Friday. So I have to make sure I get this right. Now, they did release a brand new album, self-titled. You know, they're going backwards there. They released a self-titled album called Racing Mount Pleasant a few weeks ago, but we don't have a copy of that. That went on back order almost immediately. We hope to get some of them in. So if we're keeping score, this was their first album released in 22, but the vinyl, this is the first vinyl version, only released Friday. Their first album, that one now out on vinyl. Their second album, self-titled, released, I think, a few weeks back, but that one's on back order. We'll get it eventually. Okay, now to what they sound like. In my humble opinion, these guys are, they're shoegazy, dream pop type stuff, but with a mixture of classical and smooth jazz, if that kind of makes sense. It's an odd combination. It works. It's a little mellow for a lot of folks' tastes, but if you're going down the band members and their instruments, we've got vocals, piano, tenor saxophone, let's see here. Yeah, trumpet, alto sax. So you've got all the makings of some smooth jazz in here, but it's got a tinge of classical, but the guitar gives it that dream pop, almost shoegaze type of vibe. So look them up if you get a chance. The Racing Mount Pleasant. There are two versions of the Grip Your Fist, I'm Heaven Bound. The limited, actually the regular version, not a black vinyl version, but the regular one is on white or bone-colored vinyl, as they're calling it. And then the indie exclusive is on something called a limited edition caramel apple vinyl, or caramel apple vinyl, however you want to pronounce that. Caramel apple vinyl. So that's the indie exclusive. I've got two copies of the INDIEX and one copy of the white color bone vinyl. Let me get a, there's my thumbnail. I should probably look smarter in my thumbnails, I would imagine. Check these guys out if you get a chance. I may open one up depending if we still have some left. I may be able to get more. Okay, on to the Rush albums and the Start Your Ear Off Right. Delayed for us for some reason, but I did get a bunch of copies of Snakes and Arrows in from 2007. Great album from Rush. And I only have this one copy left. We went through a ton of them on Friday. Not a ton, metric-wise. Yeah, I'm exaggerating. But I do have some more on the way. So this is a great album. It has been out of print for quite some time, vinyl-wise, and sought after. And it has even been bootlegged a couple of times. But here is the official one from Anthem Records, Atlantic, and Rhino on here. The Rhino Rocktober Rhino, Start Your Ear Off Right. Snakes and Arrows, one copy as for today. I will have more copies in a couple of weeks when we get our next shipment in. Also, from the SYEOR stuff, Rush and their Feedback LP, single LP. This is all cover tunes, Summertime Blues, Heart Full of Soul, The Seeker, For What It's Worth, Shapes of Things. I think I talked about that last week. Great album to have as well. And let's see, they put out the Vapor Trails remixed as well. And just because I was in a Rush mood, insert laughter, folks, I got it. I picked up a copy of pretty much their only greatest hits on vinyl. That's a legit pressing. This is called Icon. It's a Canadian press, So this one's on clear vinyl, and it's an import for whatever reason just over the border. They still price out a little bit heftier, but 180 gram clear vinyl, Rush Icon. I think I've got two of these left, but yeah, all the way around the horn with them. Working Man to Twilight Zone, Closer to the Heart, Free Will, Tom Sawyer, Red Sector A, Marathon, and Force 10. So not any of their later stuff, but that's still a cool one. Got another copy of the Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. This is the exclusive Yellow Flame vinyl version. Yet to open one of those up. Probably should get around to that. And with the passing of Bob Weir last week, we didn't mention anything about that then, but I did get some Grateful Dead in. For those of you, Grateful Dead, Go to Heaven. Pretty much almost all of them, I think, by now. But so we did get some reissues in, and I do have some vintage Dead left in the shelves out there for those of you that want to bolster up your Grateful Dead collection. But I did grab some reissues. This one is on Sea Blue vinyl, the first Grateful Dead, self-titled on 50. This is the 50th anniversary remastering of that on American Beauty, and a Grateful Dead best of greatest hits. So all of those on the shelf, plus a few vintage ones to speak of as well. All right. I'd refer you back to the video, the vinyl drop video from yesterday, to check out the rest of the new vinyl that dropped as well that we have left in stock. And on the vintage side, there was a bunch of cool stuff out as well, but one that I wanted to bring up simply because I found this odd. Neil Diamond's been getting a lot of attention lately because of that Hugh Jackman movie. I've not seen it. No, I don't know if I will. I'll wait till it's streaming somewhere probably. But this is a copy of Neil Diamond Early Classics from 1978. Notable because it has a piano songbook inside of it when this one came in. And it is literally piano music versions of this. Now, in looking at Discogs, because you guys know I check Discogs out and confirm everything, this is not mentioned anywhere in this release on Discogs. So whoever owned this album must have sought out the companion songbook to go with it, the early classics, because it's an exact match of the track listing and the cover and everything. So maybe Discogs got it wrong and this was included originally with it, or maybe somebody just put it together. Either way, it's a cool find. And so we've got that here on the shelf vintage-wise. Check that out if you get a chance. All right, let's dive back to, there's no more hellos, so I've bored everybody to death. You're just either sleeping or you went back to bed or you're ignoring. That's always good either way. So I'm going to wrap this up for the day. We're going to get the turntable spinning. I don't know what I'm going to start with. I don't know if I'm going to Neil Diamond today. Please don't forget the podcast, Two Guys Talking About Records, that uploads every Sunday evening. Tomorrow, no exception. Even though the store is closed, we're going to do the podcast with Steve. That goes up on the Believe Podcast Network. You can find that on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, anywhere you get podcasts. Please do check that out when you get a chance. And it also goes up here on our YouTube channel. So make sure you click that little subscribe button when you get a chance and get in on the action. This week on the podcast, Steve and I are going to go head to head here. We're going to talk about US punk versus UK punk, which is, dare I say, better. Who falls where? We each have some of each in our collection, so we'll see where that goes. But that's the podcast with Steve Carlson coming up tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. That will happen. Also, on the YouTube side of things, the new release video returns this afternoon. It's been a while since I've put one of those out, but I'm going to try to get back into the habit of doing that. So by mid-afternoon, you'll have a new release video for next week's. But as I mentioned at the top of the show, if you tuned in a little late on our live update today, any of the new releases for next week's orders, i.e. the Megadeth, for example, is going to arrive here at the store the week after because of the MLK holiday and the shipping delay. I just decided to hold off a week as well. So you have to wait a week, but we'll get those in for you. But check out that new release show as well when that comes up. And then finally, to wrap us up, just another quick reminder that we are here today, Saturday, from now until 4 p.m., just north of downtown Midland. 716 George Street is the address if you wish to come visit. But make sure you visit today, as the store will be closed tomorrow, Sunday. Normally we're open noon to 4, but tomorrow on the 18th, we will be closed for the day. Need a day off to get some stuff done. And then we'll be back at it. Closed on Monday and Tuesday, obviously, per our normal closures. But then we'll be back at it next Wednesday for a regular week of new and vintage vinyl goodness. All right, folks, I think that will just about do it for this week's live update. If you have not yet, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. People say smash that like button, but I'm really not much into the more aggressive side of things. So lightly tap it if you would. Don't wreck your screen. And you can tune in on all we've got going on here at the store through that. All right, so on that note, you folks have a great weekend, and we will talk to you live next week right here from Radio Wasteland Records. As always, thanks so much for being here.